One pair of prescription glasses, 5 different people, and only one of them can see the world clearly. Now, the problem obviously isn't the glasses. The problem is assuming that the same prescription works for everyone. And this could be the reason why you felt misunderstood at different points in your life. Because if you're anything like many of the people that I work with, you've probably had moments where you've walked away from a conversation thinking, that's not what I meant. That's not what I was trying to say. How on earth did they come to that particular conclusion? You explained yourself clearly, or at least you thought you did. Your intentions were good. Your meaning felt absolutely obvious. Yet somehow the other person heard something completely different. And if that's happened enough times, you might have started to wonder if the problem is actually you. Maybe you're not communicating well enough. Maybe you're just too much. Maybe you're not enough. Maybe you're difficult to understand. But what if none of those things are actually true? What if you've simply been expecting everyone to see the world through the same pair of glasses? One of the most exhausting experiences you can have in this world isn't a disagreement, it's being misunderstood. Because disagreement is when someone understands your point of view but sees things from a different perspective. Being misunderstood is when they never saw your point of view in the first place. It's when your intentions are being misunderstood or mistaken for something else. Your enthusiasm gets interpreted as intensity. Your caution gets interpreted as negativity. Your need for thinking time gets interpreted as hesitation. Your directness gets interpreted as criticism. And after a while, it can become incredibly tiring because you start working harder. You explain yourself more, you justify yourself more, you edit yourself more, you become careful about what you say, not because you've changed, but because you're tired of feeling unseen and misunderstood. Now, the interesting thing is that most misunderstandings aren't caused by bad people. They're caused by different perspectives. And in a world of 8 billion people, there are 8 billion different perspectives going on all the time. So imagine for a moment that you and someone else are looking at exactly the same situation. You see possibility, they see risk. You see opportunity, they see uncertainty. You see excitement, they see chaos. And neither of you is wrong. You're simply looking through different lenses. Yet most of us spend our lives assuming other people should naturally see what we see. And when they don't, misunderstandings begin. Have you ever noticed how one person thinks you're absolutely amazing and another one finds you frustrating? Or one person values your creativity and another person thinks you're being unrealistic? One person appreciates your attention to detail and another person thinks you're overthinking. One person loves your honesty and another thinks you're being too blunt. You're the same person, just different interpretations. And that's worth paying attention to because it tells you something really important. The problem may not be with who you are. The problem may be assuming everyone experiences you through the same lens. And this is one of the reasons I became fascinated by NeuroDynamics, because NeuroDynamics invites you to ask a different question. Not what's wrong with you, but how do I naturally think, lead, create, and perform? And how can I explain that to other people around me? Because once you understand that, things begin to make sense. You start understanding why certain environments energize you and others drain you. While some conversations flow naturally and others feel hard work. While some people seem to understand you instantly, while others will never begin to understand you. And you begin to realize that what you've often called flaws may simply be natural patterns that haven't yet been understood. And that's a very different conversation. And one thing I've learned over the years is this: success leaves clues, patterns leaves clues, misunderstanding leaves clues too. So if you regularly feel misunderstood, don't ignore it. Get curious about it, because misunderstanding is information. It's a clue. If people repeatedly misunderstand your intentions, that's a clue. If you constantly feel like you're explaining yourself, that's a clue. If the same frustrations keep showing up in different relationships, different workplaces, or different situations, that's a clue. And the question isn't what's wrong with you. The question is, what are these clues trying to show you? So let me give you 3 things that you can do today. The first is this: pay attention to the pattern. For the next week, notice where misunderstandings are actually happening. Who are they with? What are they about? What assumptions are being made? Because patterns leave clues. And the more you become aware of the pattern, the more you'll begin to understand how you naturally communicate and process the world around you. Now, don't judge the pattern, just be present with it. Study it. The second thing is this: notice where you feel understood. Most people focus all of their attention on where they don't fit. And I want you to pay attention to where you do. Who seems to understand you effortlessly? Who makes you feel seen? Who allows you to be fully yourself? What environments bring out the best in you? Because those experiences leave clues too. They reveal the conditions where you're most likely to thrive. And the third thing is this: understand your dominant NeuroSignature. One of the most powerful things you can do is understand how you naturally think, lead, create, and perform. Because when you understand your dominant NeuroSignature, you stop comparing yourself to people who experience the world differently to you. And you gain a language for your strengths. You gain an awareness of your natural patterns. You gain understanding, and understanding change absolutely everything. Not because you need to become something different, but because you finally begin to understand who you've been all along. So maybe the goal isn't getting everyone else to understand you. Let's be honest, that's never going to happen, and it would be absolutely exhausting to even try. Maybe the real goal is understanding yourself better. Because when you understand your own lens and you stop borrowing from everyone else's, and you stop questioning yourself every time someone sees things differently, you stop treating your differences as defects, and you start recognizing them for what they are: clues. Clues about how you think, clues about how you communicate, clues about how you create value, clues about how you're designed to thrive. So the next time you feel misunderstood, pause before you assume something is wrong with you. Get curious and ask yourself, what clue is this misunderstanding leaving behind? Because the answer to that question might tell you more about yourself than years of trying to fit in ever could.